So we already covered a lot. We covered the going to bed, right? The evening schedule, not the whole evening schedule, but like we assumed that you fell asleep and you began your next day with the evening. So with yesterday evening or this evening, you beginning your next day. This evening, you beginning your next day. This is important to know. And then went on for the dreaming, meaning writing down the redream aspect, right? So, and we went on to waking up and how to wake up effectively and what to do right afterwards. And I told you that you should write down your dreams, and I told you some other aspects. We were grooming. We moved. We did some physical activities, which were also pretty effective and also pretty important and crucial for our whole day, right? This will be an this will have an influence on on the whole day and on the complete next things we're going to do, on the complete on our complete again agenda, our complete activities. Everything afterwards is influenced by these physical activities in a positive way, and I promised it. And then we we're now here at the fourth point, right? Fourth point. This should be the fourth video now, um, and this also should end the morning routine, not the whole daytime, but just like the general morning routine. And the thing we're talking today is about breakfast, and breakfast I think will be another really small topic. I think the move topic was also a little short, but the breakfast topic is also really short. So what I want to talk about today is that what I noticed in my schedule is that I was drinking coffee. So at some point I integrated or I established a new habit, which was drinking coffee. And at first it seemed to be effective. At first it seemed to be helpful with like waking up the organism. It gave me a little boost so I could like concentrate better. But all of this had a negative snowball effect on my health as well as my um, ability to concentrate. And I think you should also stop drinking coffee. Actually, what I did today was drinking coffee after about 2 weeks or so, because I don't know. Of course, I will cope now, but the main reason was that I was like standing up 2 hours earlier than usual. So I felt really um, moody. No, not moody, but sleepy. So I drank coffee um, to balance and compensate this out, which of course I think is a cope. I shouldn't have done it. And you should also quit drinking coffee in the mornings. I really think that will have a positive effect on um, yeah, on a big scale, right? If you are drinking coffee every morning for the next 20 years, this will heavily will have an of course, if you just logically think about this, will have you usually what we people and humans are doing, we're procrastinating thoughts, and we're procrastinating and we do not even like reflect on our own behavior. We do sometimes not even like think about it actually, um which is why I also really like this is no this is the next part I think which I want to talk about. But we do not have like we're not sometimes we are unconscious about our habits, and this is why I would like I talk which is why I'm like I'm doing this video and try to explain it to you. And the next thing we are also doing is, if we get conscious about the thing, about the habit, we say, okay, so I might have, like, I have my full life, right? And I have so many days where I can quit something, and I have so much time before it gets worse, right? Before the snowball effect, because this stone which is rolling down the mountain slowly is unstoppable, and so we're procrastinating. And I think you should, if you are noticing something in your schedule which, if it builds up, has it if it continuously if you continuing to let it build up, has an some and someday will have a really drastic effect on your health, you should kill this, and you should, like, think about this consciously, and make it a challenge to, like, you, like, acknowledge the fact that it's somehow weirdly got hard to get rid of this habit. Like, for me, it was this drinking coffee. I didn't think I haven't I already built up a kind of an addiction, but I think it already got to the point where it was an addiction, and where kind of my body kind of depended, and like, I felt weird when not drinking coffee in the morning. So I already limited it to the mornings, but especially this was like two things. And other thing I will tell you about right after it. So this was one of the two things where I really had a problem with getting rid of a habit, and I enjoyed it. And then afterwards, I really enjoyed getting rid of this habit, because it's like, it's micromanaging, it's micro improving um, your agenda, and you really benefit from the small fleas that you're killing here. The next thing would be that I had a real problem with my phone in the evening. So right before I slept, I was looking at my phone. I was, like, reading sometimes also, or listening to podcasts, or watching a video. And all of these three habits right before sleep were also deeply integrated into my agenda, and I was really unconscious about this, and I was really unaware of how hard it was to get rid of, like, this dispersal right before sleep. And the moment that I, like, try to fight it and try to change my habits in this area right before sleep, um, I gained numerous positive effects. Most importantly, that my sleep was drastically improving. But the other thing which I really enjoyed was the little challenge with it. Like, I almost radically removed everything which was giving me, like, positive feelings, like dopamine loaded stuff, and to find another thing, and to, like, slowly progress even more and slowly improve even more in like any aspect of my life. This was like to find another thing where I really lacked, where I really noticed that I wasn't, like really doing like anything good, and doing really much more harm than good. This was kind of enjoying. This was the challenge. And I really enjoyed fighting against this. So I think what we should talk about what to eat. And since this is such a complicated topic and heavily depends on your diet, and I know that everyone has his own kind of diet, and there's billions of diets of different forms, of even things you want to eat or do not want to eat. Is it because of morality concerns, moral concerns, or is it about, like, health concerns? um, or is it just because again we're getting used to it, or um, because you had it so much times in your life, and you can't imagine to eat something else in the morning. You have your favorite kind of food that you eat in the morning. I think that topic is too complex to cover it and to also tell other people. So I could talk about how I feel about my own diet, or what am I doing for me. And also this is I don't have the feeling that the things that I eat in the morning could be the best superfood ever, and that my and the things that I eat at my breakfast like is non plus ultra. But I can tell it anyway. And what I'm eating is just like bread, but a special kind of bread, which I discovered too. Germinated or germinated? Is it like germinated or sprouted? Pullule? Germinate. Right. Supposedly it's called germinate. Germinated bread is like a special kind of bread, also with germinated white bread is supposedly what I'm eating in the morning with tofu. And I do kind of a sandwich here: lettuce, tomato slices, sometimes vegan cheese. And as you might can tell, I'm try to be vegetarian, and I try to buy products which aren't wrapped in plastic. So I usually buy in English, I think you call it waste-free supermarkets, where you just pack the foods into your own tubes. I hope it's called tubes, um, or just like pick it up in a small bag. And tea is what I exchanged the coffee with. And I think that was it. This is what I'm eating. This is not what which is not what I proclaim it is the best um, superfood to live up to 100 years. But what I can say is that, for example, cornflakes, sugared cornflakes, is much more harmful to the ability to concentrate on the work, which is eventually everything we're currently working towards. We are in our morning routine, we are working towards the work schedule. We trying to do as as good as possible in the work which is ahead of us, and we want to perform as best as possible. So everything we're doing currently serves the purpose of for the ability to concentrate well, to not be disguised, to not be unaware, to not lack concentration, to be like to not be distracted within your mind. This is everything we are working towards, and I think I did a pretty good job with the things that I've established into my life, which is first I got rid of the coffee every morning. I still drink it now and then and now. I think this is how it's then and now. but not in the morning. I really, really try to avoid that. Instead, and I also got rid of everything unhealthy, anything with too much, like filling my stomach too much. I think this is caused by calories or something. Like, I don't give a fuck. I just go by feeling. But I eat things and I go by feeling. If I feel okay, this leaves a good feeling, I trust the food. I do not try to overthink it. This is why I don't want to tell you about the best like food. Also, food heavily depends on your margin, right? On how much money you can spend on food, and where you live, of course, another big aspect on the food quality, for example. So there are multiple different opinions on this. So I go by feeling because there's so many opinions you cannot trust. A single one you cannot trust, even your own one. So I didn't actually made up the perfect plan. I will talk a little bit more about how I buy food and what I essentially buy, what I explicitly buy in for the